Again, for those who will eventually join in on Facebook, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, peace and blessings. This is Brother Obadiah of the Torah group. We don't usually go live because what we go over mostly is family business, Israelite business. And this is not an attack or knock on any Hebrews. We don't get involved in debates. But the Most High dropped this word inside me this morning. And it's something that everybody needs. The Israelites definitely need it. But even the Gentiles who are not part of a certain elite, air quotes, group, even the non-Israelites, non-Hebrews need this message. Because according to the powers that be, if you're not part of them, they want you destroyed too. So this class is going to be entitled The Beginning of the End. So I greet you all in the name of our coming King, Yeshua. May Yah be praised and may Yah get the glory and increase for today's class. Today's class is the beginning of the end.
Hallelujah.
But before I go into that, family, y'all know how I say I'm always reviewing stuff. And after I reviewed Operation SOS, Saving Our Sisters, and I was making sure everything had recorded, the Most High dropped something else in my spirit. And I added it to if y'all please go share this class. I don't ask y'all to share the other classes. It's like I let y'all do what he's going to do. But to help our sisters, please share these links and get them out there because our sisters are being abused all kind of ways. So share all three classes are uploaded. SOS, Save Our Sisters. But y'all dropped this on me. I said, wow, I didn't even see that. That's why it says always leave that room for the Most High. So let's double back before we go into today's class. Let's double back to Isaiah chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 4. And while you're going there, family, you can go ahead and get Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8. And when you get those two pulled up, just say Shema and we get started. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, and then we're going to read Zechariah chapter 8, verses 23.
What was the Zechariah one again?
Zechariah chapter 8, verses 23. And for the sake of time, I won't pull it up online, but you guys now know how to use the tools for yourself. So we're going to go over two verses that we went over for Saving Our Sisters, the multiple wives class. And this is Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And then we're going to precept that with Zechariah chapter 8, verses 23. Shema?
Shema.
Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. Read, Elder.
And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel.
So as we went over before, this Isaiah 4:1 is one of the verses that me, myself included, I thought it justified that in the future, men are going to be able to have multiple wives. 7 women shall take hold of one man. And we brought out in the class that if you go back to Genesis chapter 2, verses 23, he says that for this reason, because woman was taken out the side of man, man shall cleave to his wife. And we brought out that Genesis 2, verse 23 is a commandment. So once we have a commandment, for Yah to retract that, we're going to need some clear-cut examples where Yah says, now you can cleave to 2 and 3. But what hit me when I double-checked Genesis, I said, Yah, you are wonderful. I said, Yah, you are wonderful. And I'll be up bubbling. I try to leave my wife alone because, I'm cuckoo. But it says, and I'm going to paraphrase, but y'all can go back and double-check it for yourself. Genesis chapter 2, verse 23. He says, for this cause a man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. And I told y'all, it was funny how the Most High worked. After we finished that class that night, that part 3, again, I'm up listening to our recording, and I'm multitasking because now that's what I do. And I turn on YouTube, and one of the third videos I click on was a discussion or debate on multiple wives. I was like, oh, so I said, okay, I want to listen because I'm not prideful. I said, if this brother who is pro multiple wives say something that I missed, well, I'm going to correct myself and let y'all know, hey, I got it wrong and such and such. So I'm listening to this debate of multiple wives, and it's one of our brothers against a Christian pastor. And all fairness, that Christian pastor, he's an Israelite, just don't know it. He was giving the same precepts I was giving when I said, oh my God. So I finished watching it, and the Israelite brother, had some his rebuttal didn't line up. And in their eyes, they chopped the Christian. I was like, I didn't want to chime in. But I said, nah, that Christian, even though he don't know the Hebraic perspective, he gave it from a Christian perspective. He was on point. And after I turned it off, I'm listening to our class, and the Most High said, go back and check Genesis and see what I said. So I'm reading Genesis again. I said, well, yeah, I did address that. This is a commandment. This is the Matasawa. Just because it's not written, thou shalt, that doesn't mean it's not a commandment. The Most High gives us directions. It's a commandment. Like when he told our forefathers, I'm sending Babylon to come get y'all, and don't go back to Egypt. He says, woe to you, those who go back to Egypt. That was a commandment. That was a commandment. Don't go to Egypt, submit to Babylon, and I'm gonna keep you in Babylon. But some of our elders went back to Egypt. So I says, okay, y'all, what you want me to see now? And I read it, and when you guys study, read the verses out loud, because that's when you can hear yourself read it. So, Elder, did you pull it up? Does anyone pull it up? Genesis 2 and 23? Genesis 2 and, let's just put it up since I'm talking about it. Genesis 2 and 23.
Yeah. Shema.
Shema. Read.
And Adam said, this now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of a man.
24.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother.
Leave who?
Leave his father and his mother.
Did Adam have a father or mother?
Mm-mm.
So who is this to?
To us.
This is to me and you.
Yeah, see,
Because this brother says, no, this is and if he sees this, Shabbat Shalom. We can discuss it. I'm not getting into that indignation, but let's talk book.
yeah.
So this brother defense was to this Christian, no, that's not a commandment. Adam's preference was to have one woman, but that's not a commandment. So I was like, let me double check and see this brother telling the truth. So y'all says, you see that? A man shall leave his mother and father. I was like, Adam didn't have no parents. So that's to me and you.
Right.
This is a commandment.
That's right.
So again, you got to be Bereans, and everything that sounds good to the ear, we got to match it against the book. So a man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his one wife is a commandment. Now, let's examine Isaiah 4 and 1. Isaiah 4 and 1. 7 women shall take hold of one man. We went over again, this is not a marriage. But I want you to put in parentheses, shall take hold. Shall take hold. Because if we're going to accept that these 7 women taking hold of one man constitute a relationship, well, that means in the future we could have 10 men in our beds too. Would anyone think the Most High is going to allow us to have men to have 10 men? Well, let's cross this against Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. And again, all praises and esteem be to the Most High through the blood of our King. I'm not a scholar. I'm not taking none of these titles. I'm a fellow servant with all of you. The Most High dropped this on me after our class. So everybody's there. Zechariah 8, 23.
Shema.
Read.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew,
So
saying,
10 men from out of the nations shall take hold of the skirt of me and you. So that phrase shall take hold that's used in Isaiah 4:1 is used twice in Zechariah 8:23. So I says, the Most High says, well, check it against the lexicon. When you pull up, and I added it to the classes on YouTube. The intro has these verses with the Blue Letter Bible. When you look up this phrase shall take hold in the Blue Letter Bible, the Hebrew word in Isaiah 4:1 and Zechariah 8:23 is the same word. Shall take hold translate back to a Hebrew word, zakah. I don't want to say it wrong. It's Strong's H2388. Strong's H2388, and the word does not mean or have anything to do with relationships, couples, or copulation. So I'm gonna let y'all do the research for yourself. Again, I added it to the class on YouTube. Those two, if you're gonna say, if your position, because we're Bereans, and you gotta be honest with the text, if your position is that Isaiah 4:1 means in the future you can have 7 wives, well, you have to hold that Zechariah 8:23 says you can have 10 men. Because the same Hebrew word is used in both passages. That's book. And you know, we don't need no Moreh, we don't need no rabbi. We know ain't no way in the Most High's green earth he's going to allow us to have no 10 men. That's blatantly against the commandments. So this Isaiah 41 is not about, Isaiah 4:1 is not about 7 men, a man having 7 women. All praises.
All praises.
Right? So we're going to go into today's class, and today's class is the beginning of the end. And like I said, my soul was bubbling up because the Most High dropped this on me this morning, and the verses was coming in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to speak on it. Then he was like, no, write these down. I'm like, I already got the class built. We're going over the Torah, and had to be obedient. So I built this class this morning, and this is the beginning of the end. And us as Israelites, as the seed of Jacob, we're in grave danger. But also the stranger who don't know where they come from, they're in danger too, because the people we're going to discuss today, they want everybody gone. But us being the seed of Jacob, we are specifically at grave danger. So let's pick this up in 1 Ezra chapter 6, verses 8 through 9. 1 Ezra is in the Apocrypha, and it's 1 Ezra chapter 6, verses 8 through 9. If you have the Sefer, I think it's the 4th Ezra. 4th Ezra. My glasses are dirty. I can't see nothing. Your 1 Ezra 6 and 9 in Apocrypha. You got any wipes with you? I can't see nothing. I think, Shema, you have it?
Shema.
Read.
Verse 9. And that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs, for the burnt offerings of the Most High of heaven.
That's 1 Ezra 6 and 9? First, in the Apocrypha?
Yeah, hold on. I think it's different. This is, hold on.
Some of them editors put it in different orders. Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
1 Ezra 6 and 8 through 9.
All right.
I think the Sefer is 4th Ezra.
6 and 9.
6 and 9.
Okay, hold on one moment.
1 Ezra chapter 6 verses 8 through 9.
8 through 9.
And does it start off, and he said unto me from...
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's in the Apocrypha. You in the Apocrypha? 1 Ezra chapter 6 verses 8 through 9.
Let all things be known unto our Yah.
You might have to look in 4th.
EDRAS in that copy. Yeah, they spell it different in the Apocrypha.
Is that the right one?
Go ahead, just.
And he said unto me from Abraham.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
First Ezra chapter 6, verses 8 through 9. Read.
And he said unto me from Abraham unto Isaac and unto Jacob, and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau in the end of the world, and Jacob in the beginning of it that follows.
Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the one that follows. Esau is the end of one era, and Jacob is the end of the next that follows. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a bash Christianity lesson, but this is for our brothers inside Christianity. Because we're taught inside Christianity, it don't matter about what nation you come from, because Messiah has got us all together. But right here it says Esau is the end of one world, and Jacob is the beginning of the next that follows. So it's important that we know who's who. It's important that we know who's who. So since we're here, let's go to the end, and let's go to verses 54 through 59. And this is why they don't want us reading these books. First Ezra chapter 6, verses 54 to 59. Shemai. Read.
And after these, Adam also, whom you made Lord of all your creatures, of him come we all.
We all come from Adam. Yes, all of us. If you're a human, no matter what your skin look like, if you came from Adam, you are a human being. You are a son of Adam. Read.
And the people also whom you have chosen. All this have I spoken before you, O Yahweh, because you made the world for our sakes.
But you made the world for our sakes. Now, Ezra is a priest, so he's talking about Israel. So yeah, every man comes from Adam, but you made the world for our sakes. Read.
As for the other nations, which also come from Adam, you have said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
Every other nation other than Israel is spit. Now, the seminary man says these writings are not inspired or canonized. You can get the same language in Isaiah. Every other nation that's not Israel is counted as spit to the Most High. Read.
And have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, Yahweh, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, your people, whom ye have called your firstborn, it's different in the Sefer. Yakid, or is that, does anybody have a Sefer? I don't know.
Your children.
Your
Yeah,
children.
Your kid, your children.
And your fervent lover are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
So he's questioning the Most High. He's telling the Most High, all through your prophets, you're telling us that we're your chosen people. The rest of Adam's sons, you're saying they're nothing, and we're your people. He says, so if you made the world for our sakes, why don't we have an inheritance? Why is a heathen ruling over us? And my wife got the perfect shirt on, take back your heritage, original Hebrew. Take back your heritage. So everybody at your job who doesn't look like you have a land to claim hold to. A Chinaman, he knows he comes from China. Right now we just had St. Patrick's Day, they claim Ireland. Now I know we got a Jamaican in the house, but that's not her land. Everybody with this melanin has a land to hold on to except us.
That's right.
Why don't we have an inheritance? I'm proud of the Jamaicans and the Haitians. I wish I grew up with them because they got a flag. They did the right thing. Those Judah got those people out those lands. So I'm proud of our Jamaicans and Haitians, but that's not their land. Those islands are beautiful. Israel make Jamaica looks like an island.
That's right.
So everybody under the sun has a heritage except Israel. So we have to find out who's who to make it in these last days. Because if you're listening to the CDC is controlled by government. Government are run by men. These men come from nations. If these men are from a nation, that means your nation's no good and you're listening to them. How smart is that? So today we're going to run down who's who and why this is the perfect time to reclaim your heritage and reconnect with the Most High. Fast and pray so you get news before they get it. We having a promise from the Most High. He's going to give our sister, his daughters, visions. He's going to give the young men dreams. So when we fast and pray, we don't need to wait for CNN and the CDC says this. No, my Abba says do this. So this is why we're going to run down who's who. So in these last days with this turmoil going on, we get a fresh word from our Father and not listen to a government that means you no harm. That means you no good. Con? So let's pick this up and let's get some history here. We're going to go to Jasher chapter 63. Jasher 63, and I'll get this on the screen because I know everyone don't have Jasher. So let me get this on the screen. Jasher, and Elder, if you want to save time, I got it here.
Okay.
We're going to run down who these nations are and verify why we can't be listening to the government. Jasher chapter 60. Is it on the TV yet?
Yeah.
Us as Israelites have no business listening to a government that wants us dead. The government wants you dead. Whether you know you're an Israelite or not, they know who you are.
That's right.
We're going to run it down today. The powers that run this American government, they know who you are. It doesn't matter. Trayvon Martin didn't know he was a Hebrew. He was dead anyway. So they don't care. It's like that family. You grow up and no one told you that your grandma was beefing with their grandma back in the 40s, and now their great grandson keep beating you up. His family told him who he was. His family told him what y'all grandmoms did. Your family didn't tell you. You coming home, he keep messing with me. And because your mom didn't know, you just think he's a bully. No, he knows the history. That's what's going on. Esau never lost his inheritance. The prophecy over Esau, I'm getting ahead of myself. The prophecy over Esau was, okay, your brother has your blessing. I can't take it back. But you're going to live off the fat of the earth, and you're going to live by the sword. Y'all remember that class we did of ID and Uncle Esau? Britain has conquered every nation on the planet with the exceptions of 22 countries. And you can Google that image will come up, and it show you all the countries in pink that Britain has conquered. Now, Britain is just Rome. So Rome has conquered every nation with the exception of 22 countries. So we're going to run down and identify who they are. So, Elder, you're going to drive it. Oh, you want to read from there? Because I can't see the TV.
Okay.
I changed the setup so you can drive.
All right.
So we're going to run down who's really running Rome, who's running the United States. We're going to pick it up at Jasher 63, and we're going to pick it up at verse 16. Go down to 20. And hopefully those inside the classroom is sharing. This is Jasher 63, verses 16 through 20.
Oh, this one the TV is not Joshua?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Is it 63?
63?
Yeah.
It may not be on 63, Elder. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
We're going to run down why you have to know who's who and why bloodlines still matter. Contrary to what we've been taught, we're not all the same under the Messiah. We're not all the same under the Messiah.
63, verse
16 through 20. Jasher is just a Hebrew word that means the upright, Yashar. 63 verses 16 through 20.
Shema.
Read.
And Zepho also sent a letter unto the land of Edom to Hadad, the son of Bedad, king of Edom, and to all the children of Esau, saying, I have heard that Angeas, king of Africa, is coming to us with his brother for battle against us, and we are greatly afraid of him, for his army is very great, particularly as he comes against us with his brother and his army likewise. Now therefore come you also up with me and help me, and we will fight together against Angus and his brother Lucas, and you will save us out of their hands. But if not, know ye that we shall all die. And the children of Esau sent a letter to the children of Kittim and to Zepho, their king, saying, we cannot fight against Angus and his people, for a covenant of peace has been between us these many years, from the days of Bela the first king, and from the days of Joseph the son of Jacob, king of Egypt, and with whom we fought on the other side of the Jordan when he buried his father.
Verse 20.
And when Zepho heard the words of his brethren, the children of Esau, he refrained from them. And Zepho was greatly afraid of Angus.
Zepho got some problem with this African king, and Zepho is writing back to Edom, to his brothers, saying, hey, come help me fight this African king. And his brothers, the Edomites, are telling Zepho, we can't, because we made a pact with him, because when we was fighting our brothers, the Israelites, the children of Jacob, when they were burying their father, he came and helped us fight the Israelites. So we can't help you, Zepho, fight this African king. So Zepho wrote his brothers, the Edomites. Let's put our finger on it so everybody knows who see this class who Zepho is. Let's go to Genesis 36. Let's go to Genesis 36 and 1. So everyone's going to know who Zepho is. We're going to confirm who Zepho is. Genesis 36 and verse 1. Shema, when you're there,
Shema.
read.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
Okay, so here's Esau's generation. Let's drop down, Elder, to verse, I think, was it 10? Drop down verses 10 through 11, Elder.
Okay. These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho.
And Zepho. So we got concrete evidence that Zepho is descendant from Esau. He's an Edomite. They just touched on their beef with Israel. He says when we was fighting the children of Jacob, when he was burying Joseph, this African king helped us. We got concrete evidence Zepho is an Edomite. So let's go back to Jasher, and let's pick up Jasher chapter 90 now. No, I'm sorry. Let's go in order, Elder. We ain't going to jump around like that. You know what? We only need one verse. We ain't got to kill a horse or kill whatever they call it. Let's go to Jasher 61 and 25. And this will put the nail in the coffin. Zepho, an Edomite, start to reign over Rome. Zepho, an Edomite, starts to reign over Rome. The Romans are Edomites. And this is what we're going to put together. This is Jasher 61, verse 25.
Shema.
Shema.
Read.
And their king Zepho went at their head, and they made war with Tubal and islands, and they subdued them. And when they returned from the battle, they renewed his government for him. And they built for him a very large palace for his royal habitation and seat. And they made a large throne for him. And Zepho reigned over the whole land of Kittim and over the land of Italia 50 years.
Over the land of what?
Italia.
Zepho, an Edomite, he conquers all of Noah's grandsons. Tubal, Javan. These are Greeks and other descendants of Noah. Zepho, an Edomite, takes all their islands. Everything around Italy and Rome, Zepho, an Edomite, takes control of it. And it says he reigned over Italia or Italy for 50 years. Now, how many sons can you have in 50 years? A whole lot. And y'all remember when we did that idea in Esau, the original Edomites and original Romans are dark as me. Now scientists are coming out confirming the ancient Europeans are dark. But our scrolls been had this information. So now we got our hands, Rome has been under an Edomite government for centuries. Now let's tie Rome to the Khazars. Let's tie Rome to the Khazars. and show our people inside the church and Christianity why you can't just turn on the news and listen to a government agency like the CDC. Because like I posted on Facebook, these same government agencies gave our fathers syphilis. You're testing stuff on my grandma to make her sterile. And now you're going to run to these people? We have a professional, we have someone here in the medical profession. It blew my mind when I heard it say, and we're working on releasing a vaccine. I was like, I thought you got to take years of test trials and 20-something years to even get it at the USDA table. How y'all got a vaccine in weeks? And now you're going to have people ignorantly lining up. I got to get my child vaccine. They're going to let them back in school. You shouldn't go back in school. But when you're under false doctrine, you don't know the nations, you don't know who you are, you don't know who they are, you get sucked into this death camps. So these people know that Rome are Edomites. Now let's tie it together and let's show our family how Rome and the Khazars married each other. And for this one, Elder, we're going to do some work. There's I couldn't find a PDF of this book, so I'm going to read. I'm going to read from this book, Elder.
Okay.
I'm going to read from, did I bring it out? You see the Silk Roads up there? Oh, I have it up here. So, I'm going to read from this book. For those of you, this is the Silk Roads, and this tells the history of how the merchants of the time spread different cultures and religions from Russia all the way to New England and stuff. So this is the Silk Road. I'm going to read a couple pages to show you how we know Rome and the Khazars married each other. So this is, I'm going to start on page 68. I'm going to show the family how the Romans and the Khazars married each other. And then I'm going to let you know who the Khazars are for those of you who don't know. So this is page 68 of the Silk Roads. And it says, and it's talking about the Roman Emperor Heraclius. It says, in an astonishing counterattack, Heraclius, who had been leading the imperial army in Asia Minor during the siege of his capital, now tore after the retreating army. The emperor first made for the Caucasus, where he met the Turk Kagan and agreed an alliance. So this Roman emperor, his name is Heraclius, he's chasing this army. And he chased them to the steeps of the Caucasus Mountain. And when he gets to the Caucasus Mountains, he makes an alliance with the Turk Kagan. So he says, showering him with honors and gifts and offering him his daughter Eudokia as a bride to formalize ties of friendship. The emperor then threw caution to the wind. So this Roman emperor chased this army all the way to the Caucasus Mountains. If you pull up the Caucasus Mountains, your one landmark you can put your finger on is the Black Sea. So on top of the Black Sea, you meet these people called the Turks or Khazars. This Roman emperor, about the year 625 AD, makes a treaty with the Khazars and gives his daughter to the Khazar to formalize the union. So that's the first instance, and this is way back in 625, 626 AD. So now we got historical records that the Roman government, emperor, married his daughter to a Khazar. Let's pick up some more history in the Silk Roads here. So now I'm going to go to page 105 of the Silk Roads. This is page 105 of the Silk Road, and this is some years later. It says, the Khazars, as they were known, ruled the steppes north of the Black Sea and became increasingly prominent because of their military resistance they put up during the period of the Great Conquest in the decades following Muhammad's death. So these Khazars got a rep because they stopped the Muslims. After Muhammad died, the Muslims kept trying to take the world, and these Khazars stopped the Muslims. So that got the attention of all the nations around. Listen what it says about the Khazars. Their effectiveness against the Muslim armies won them the support of a constellation of other tribes who united under their leadership. All the other nations says, y'all stop the Muslims, we'll join with y'all and we'll help y'all. The Khazars are ruling everything on top of the Black Sea. It says, it also caught the attention of the Roman emperors in Constantinople. Constantinople is New Rome. Constantinople was named after Constantine. So these Khazars are so powerful, they're getting the attention of everybody because it's like, yo, did you see what they did to the Muslims? So now New Rome says, hey, let's get in bed with them. Listen what New Rome did. It says, who understood that there were mutual benefits to be had from striking an alliance with the dominant force of the steppes. So important were the Khazars as allies that in the early 8th century, 2 marriage alliances were arranged between the ruling houses of Khazaria and Byzantine. Byzantine is just a Greek word for Constantinople. So the Romans, who we just told y'all were descendants of Zepho or Esau, the Romans are saying, hey, we could make an alliance with the Khazars. And they formed 2 marriages to formalize the union between the Khazars. So now we got another historical record that put Rome and the Khazars in bed. Now, I want to bring this point out. Because just like Israel is not supposed to mix with other nations as far as women, and it's not a color thing. Me and you, we're not supposed to touch an Ethiopian or none of that. It went on through our history, but again, you got to consider the culture and what's going on. Like we brought out in the class, King David was innocent because no Levites were teaching the Torah. That don't mean that culture was accepted. So me and you, if we were back home and never left our land, we will only be marrying inside the 12 tribes. Mm-hmm. But not only did the Israelites keep this culture, the Romans did. So listen to this, family. It says, from the point of view of Constantinople, Byzantium's capital, imperial marriages with foreigners were rare. So if you were a king, imperial, you're supposed to keep the bloodlines pure. Y'all know that's how those Europeans do it. It says in New Rome or Byzantine, mixing with a foreigner for royal marriages was rare. It says, were rare. I don't know why I can't see these glasses. Alliances with steppe nomads were all but unprecedented. So they didn't mix, New Rome or Constantinople didn't mix their bloodlines for royalty. And it says going up to the steppes was unheard of. No one ever went up to the steppes or to the Khazars to form a marriage. It says the development is a clear indication of how important the Khazars have become in Byzantine diplomatic and military thinking. The fact that they went to marry the Khazars, these Romans broke their traditions of keeping their imperial line pure, shows the importance of them marrying Khazars. So now we got concrete evidence that Rome is Edom. Rome is Esau. Now we got clear evidence, thanks to the Silk Road, that Esau married the Khazars. Now, I know y'all know because we went over it. For those who never heard this information, let's tell the people who the Khazars are. If you never heard this, please verify this information. It says, this is page 106 of the Silk Road. The Khazars themselves did not adopt Islam, but they did take on new religious beliefs. In the middle of the 9th century, they decided to become Jewish. Envoys from Khazaria arrived in Constantinople, New Rome, around 860 AD, and asked for preachers to be sent to explain the fundamentals of Christianity. Now, this Christianity is really, now it's been tainted. Yes, originally Christianity was Israelites keeping the law. But now by 960, Rome then took Christianity and got the pagans and all that. It continues, it says, from time immemorial, they said, we have known only one God, that is Tencreed, who rules over everything. Now the Jews are urging us to accept their religions and customs, while on the other hand, the Arabs draw us to their faith, promising us peace and many gifts. So they're fighting over the Khazars. The Muslims saying, come with us and we'll stop messing with y'all and we give you gifts. But the Christians or the Christians